evening and welcome to this edition of Sports on North Penn Television. I'm Eric Jessberger alongside Sophia Hughes, preparing for a volleyball matchup tonight between the visiting Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials and our home team, the North Penn Knights. Let's tune in and listen in on our starters for tonight's matchup. And we are set here at North Penn's Navy Gym, preparing for a matchup between the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials and North Penn Knights. Both teams coming into tonight with a 3-1 record and looking to improve their record to 4 wins as both teams trail behind Hapoel Horsham in the standings, as the Mad Hatters are 4-0 undefeated. As you heard, the stars for tonight for the North Penn Knights: number 2, Morgan Patterson; number 8, Alicia Powers; number 19, Gina Maffa; number 21, Madison Mejia; number 22, Lyndon Wagenhofer; number 25, Natalie Wernley; number 30, Emily Cooper; and number 31, Francesca Dolan.
The Knights starting on the right side of your screen in Columbia blue, and the Colonials are set on the left side on your screen in red and blue.
So we're set here for what should be a thrilling matchup. Both teams facing off for the first time this season against each other here in week 4. And this should be a great matchup as Plymouth Whitemarsh, they took control of this Navy Gym last year, 2017, on October 16th, which was North Penn senior night. So North Penn looking for a little bit of redemption, as Colonials did sweep them in the best of 5, 3-0. Starting off, Plymouth Whitemarsh going to serve it up and send it over. And it digs, scooped up. Colonials sending it back over. Dolan sets it for Cooper. Set across by Wernley. The hit coming across your screen. Cooper sets up again. The Knights with another spike. And a close call will go to the Colonials as ball landed out of your court. Number 18, Malilo Sydney will send it over for the Colonials. Received by Dolan. Cooper sends it up. And called by the officials. Double hit. Plymouth Whitemarsh taking control 2-0 early on in tonight's matchup. Dolan in pink serves it up. Wernley's kill attempt will be immediately stopped by number 5, Lily Aquafiva. And Plymouth Whitemarsh displaying their dominance early on in tonight's matchup. So to the far side. Wernley sends it over to the back corner. To Refulse with the response.
Out of bounds.
And a great shot sent over. Dolan unable to get quite around to get her body in front. And knocked out. And the Colonials taking a commanding 4-0 lead early on. Cooper drives it over. Sent down attempt. Great stop by Cooper. Ball will be sent back over the net. Refulse serves out for number 17, and that's the Colonials' Jillian Connor, as the block attempt fell just off the fingertips and out of bounds on North Penn's side of the court, and an early timeout called by the Knights. And it looks like Plymouth Whitemarsh just controlling the aspects of the game so far as they take a 5-0 early start. And that was some of the game plans. We got to talk to Colonials head coach Celie Byler before tonight's matchup. But they said that they're a very defensive-minded team. That's what they build off of for their attacks. It starts with their defense. And they also have a strong group of outside hitters who have demonstrated a strong showing so far early on in the season. That's what you have to expect from both teams, that their defense as well as their outside hits.
Coming out from the timeout, number 18 from Plymouth Whitemarsh will be serving.
Lila Cindy. We're set for another serve. She has been the main enforcer so far tonight for the Colonials.
Coop sets it. Natalie spikes.
And Wernley's kill falls right in front of number 13 for the Colonials, Ija Smith. And that will be the first points up on the board for the girls in Columbia Blue, North Penn. Served by Alicia Powers, and ball will go towards the crowd, out of play.
Another point for North Penn.
And we'll see Knights offensive. Powers served off by Powers. Alicia sends it across. Met by Smith Olsen. Falls short, laying out for it was Sydney, however, unable to reach. And North Penn working their way back into this early commanding start by the Colonials.
Alicia serves again.
Sydney will put it up. Smith sends it across. Able to respond. Worley across. Sydney puts it back up. That's stolen with another dig. Poked up and tipped right by the end side of the logo. Great touch there by Alicia Powers. Falls in, and North Penn will continue their offensive side of the dominance so far.
Alicia goes for another serve. And that.
Looks like falling just out of play. That was a great, able to keep the ball in play. Allison Helferty for the Colonials with her right hand unable to knock it across the net. And North Penn will continue. Sydney puts it up. And Dolan the response. A little bit of communication error as Alicia Powers laid out, unable to get it up enough.
PW takes the lead again, scores 6-5.
And you see head coach for Colonials, Celie Byler, making sure the game plan is set. As this serve by number 17, Jillian Connor, just too much on it, falls out of bounds, and North Penn will take over.
Natalie Wernley, number 25, takes the serve.
Hard hit by the junior, sent across. Sydney will put it up.
There's a set.
And a small touch settled out by North Penn, and they'll set up their offensive attack. But the initial hit by number 2, Morgan Patterson, off the net.
That's an error for North Penn.
And Colonials will continue to take over. Already great action in this first set, 7-6, close game. As number 3, Riffoltz, will send it over for the Colonials. So
out of bounds, tied again for North Penn.
Line official calls it out of bounds. And we'll get set for libero Francesca Dolan, number 31, to send it over for North Penn. Riffoltz responds. Put up Smith, hard kill attempt, out of bounds, and the Knights will continue to take over. And in pink tonight for the Knights, Francesca Dolan is a libero. And a timeout called by the Colonials. Both teams calling early timeouts here in tonight's matchup. And libero, who will take over for the serve for the Knights, coming off a fantastic junior season. She's in her senior year here playing volleyball for North Penn. As her junior year consisted of a lot of great aspects, as she was a second-team all-conference player, as well as earning her a MVP in the league. So definitely a lot of talent from this senior as she looks to continue to carry her team and help them out and improve their winning season so far, especially tonight here as they are home against the Colonials. And with play ready to get back underway, Dolan will send it across. Small touch, put up off the net, and Colonials unable to get it up enough to get a kill attempt off.
North Penn continues to take the lead. Alicia gets set to serve again.
Francesca Dolan will send it across. Smith to Sydney, back over. Colonials push attempt will be knocked down by Dolan. And go back and forth, playing keep away. And the touch there, unable to stay within bounds. Patterson's shot falls out. And number 5, Lulin Aquaviva will get set to serve it across. Both teams calling timeouts. The first one of the matchup was by North Penn. After that dominating start by the Colonials, taking the lead of 5-0. And then once North Penn worked their way back into the game and started now taking the lead 10-8. The coach for Plymouth Whitemarsh, Bowler, decided we need to get a meeting of our own and get things straight. So now both teams are set as Emily Cooper will send it across for the Knights. Met by Smith-Holtz. And a kill knocked right down. Hard touch there by number 8, Megan Pousser. And you see the height just for this team, for the Colonials, after that hard touch. And Smith's touch will land right in the center of North Penn's side, and Alicia Powers unable to get it up enough on her diving attempt.
Making that a tie, 10-10.
Smith with her second serve, sends it across.
Cooper sets it.
And Smith hard kill, dug up by number 6 for North Penn, Macron. However, the touch across falls short as Colonials Smith will continue to serve. And number 13 Smith's serve attempt will fall short off the net. And North Penn now will take over. Substitutions coming in with Natalie Wernley and Diana Pissou. And coming into tonight, North Penn coming off a huge win and huge momentum shift as well, as they were able to win a 5-set matchup over Abington.
That's another point for North Penn. They're taking the lead, 12-11.
And that was in their Week 4 matchup. And we talked to Coach Scott Coles beforehand for North Penn, and he just said it was a huge momentum shift, and they were able to feed off the energy not only from the crowd in that game, but also throughout practice. You know, they were ready to go coming to tonight's matchup.
North Penn with another point, taking the lead, 13-11. Number 7, Diana Pursuit, goes to serve.
And she'll send this across. Met by Colonial.
Natalie with the point.
Great touch by Natalie Wernley, and she's got that vertical. She's got that size, and just looked effortless on that light touch. And North Penn now taking the lead, 14-11. Set across, great dig. Pick up by Ref Foltz, falls just across the net. Wernley keeps it up. And Dolan to the back of the court, unable to fall in bounds, and Colonials picking up the possession and the point. Stoppage play as Colonial substitutions will come in. Number 2, Julia Walker, and number 9, Allison Halfordy will come back into the game. Walker will serve it up and send it across. Wernley meets it. Dolan puts it up. Wernley off the top of the net, falls across. Hard kill attempt. Dolan lays out, keeps it across. Cooper tries to keep it up. And a third attempt by Alicia Powers on the ground. However, the ball unable to get across the net as Plymouth Whitemarsh will continue with possession. Sydney puts it up. Worley will send it across, lays out Smith, keeps it up. And Walker sends it across, Dolan lays out. Emily Cooper puts it up, Worley, the tap. A little bit of serving up to each other. This hard attempt, Cooper to Dolan. And a hard shot there by Macron, and ball will fall in. Great shot there by number 8, Alicia Powers, picking up another point for North Penn and getting back possession, 15-13, as Madison Mejia will get set to send it across for North Penn. Mejia shot picked up by Connor to Sydney, and Smith will just tap it over.
Cooper sets it. Natalie ooh.
And Worley shot across court, unable to stay inbounds, as PW will now take over. And a great demonstration of both teams' offensive and defensive side of the ball so far in tonight's matchup. Both teams not only just laying out for it, but doing whatever they can to keep the ball inbounds and, out of the crowd. So that's what we expect here tonight in this great matchup. Both teams are 3-1.
North Penn takes the lead.
And North Penn continuing their lead, now improving 16-14 here in our first set. And subbing in for Emily Cooper, number 19, Gina Maffa for the Knights, as Powers sends it across. Hard spike there off the arm of Dolan, number 5, Lily Aquaviva, and that's her second dominating kill shot there. As she has that hard hit, we've already seen evident in this first set of tonight's matchup. And Doug set across. Sydney will put it up. And a tap, unable to stay inbounds. That was number 9, Allison Hofferty.
Natalie Worley, number 25 for North Penn, gets ready to serve. She sets that over the net. And North Penn gets the point, making it 18-5.
And an ace there, beating Sophia Riffolds on her left. Great shot there by Natalie Worley as she will continue to serve. With North Penn continuing with their offense in this game. Dug up by Riffolds. Dolan to Powers. As Patterson sending it back across. Riffolds, Smith, kill attempt, falls in at the back of the court. No Knight was home to be able to dig that one up. As Plymouth Whitemarsh with a great shot there, picking up another point. 18-16 here in our first set. North Penn still leading by 2. As Sophia Riffolds gets set to send it across in gray for Plymouth Whitemarsh.
Plymouth Whitemarsh slowly catching up.
And that was a shot across the court from libero to libero. Colonial number 3 libero Riffolds to the Knights number 31 Dolan for North Penn. Sydney to Smith, and she'll just tap this one over. Laying out was Powers. Dolan will keep it up and send it across. What a shot by number 19 for North Penn. Gina Maffa going across court and staying just within that orange line. Using that lefty touch. And that ball was able to fall in. North Penn taking over as Dolan will jump up and serve it away. Smith will tap this one over, and a little bit of communication error there for the Knights as this one just falls hopelessly right by the logo for North Penn. As we get closer and closer to reaching that end of this first set at 25 points, North Penn leading by 1, 19-18. as both teams looking to just grab some momentum either side, but this defense and offensive matchup that we expected here tonight is on a great display so far in our first set. And the block attempt by Mejia unable to be picked up, as number 8, Megan Pusser picks up a point there for the Colonials, tying things up 19-19. Lily Aquaviva sends it across. Great stop there by number 6 for North Penn. And Sydney lays out, unable to pick it up for the Colonials. And North Penn will take over. Great stop there on the initial serve by number 16, Malia Macron for North Penn. Laying out, using her left arm to keep the ball up, as it would have just stayed just in bounds. And able to work later in the possession to pick up a point for North Penn. Sydney up to Aquaviva. Emily Cooper uses her left arm. It's going to work. Smith, hard kill attempt. Poked up by Mejia and Powers. Now Powers, the kill attempt off the left arm of Sydney, falling through. 21-19. North Penn reaching closer, trying to pick up this first set win here in our best of 5. It will be senior Emily Cooper getting ready to send it across for North Penn. Hard touch, received by Riffoltz. And Smith will just put it across. Dolan to Cooper, to Mejia, light touch right to Sydney, who answers. And Riffoltz now to Smith. Off the arm of number 8, Alicia Powers, falling out of bounds. And it's a phenomenal first set we're seeing so far tonight. Both teams doing a great job. And the Colonials, Smith will get set to send it away. And unfortunately that serve will fall short and roll down off the net onto the wood floor. 22-20, North Penn leads.
Number 7, Deanna Pursuit gets ready to serve the ball.
1 for 2 tonight on her serve. She'll
She sets
send her
that
third
over.
one away. And just that was an unfortunate miscue there by Sydney, unable to keep the ball up. And a timeout call by Colonials, second called by head coach Celie Byler. That's what we're seeing tonight, a great matchup. And both teams, you know, their record's 3-1. It's getting shown here tonight. Both teams, phenomenal defense and offense. And what else are you expecting here, Sophia, in this final couple points needed by North Penn in our first set?
We hope that North Penn can keep up the good work. We see that offense and defense are both doing phenomenal work, both sides, Plymouth Whitemarsh and North Penn. We get ready. Number 7, Columbia Blue, gets ready to set the ball.
And you got to expect Scott Coles, you know, as he mentioned, after coming off the big Abington win, he did mention that they were able to build off the crowd and use that energy to fuel themselves towards the end of those games. So we got a pretty good crowd on hand here tonight in North Penn's Navy Gym, and they're looking to use that as we are getting ready to finish off our excellent first set of action. And for Plymouth Whitemarsh, number 2, Julia Walker will serve it across. A great hit met by Dolan, who digs it up. Wernley's kill attempt met by Smith, and Sydney will put it up. Number 17, Colonials, unable to fall through.
Sets the ball, and they get that point.
And that was a great 2 sets by Wernley and Cooper, setting up for number 7 for North Penn, Diana Pursuit, who drives that one towards your closer half of the screen on Plymouth Whitemarsh side of the court. And 24-21, North Penn leads one more to win this first set. But he has served across to Connor, put it by Sydney. Riffel's about to send it across. Pursuit, great attempt on the run towards her bench. Wernley will put it across. Back and forth, Sydney puts it up. Light touch. And a point for North Penn, and that will conclude this first set of action.
Final score, 25-21.
And our best of 5, the Knights coming out and taking control in this first set. And that was just a phenomenal first matchup here between both teams. And as we mentioned, the Colonials took control of last year's matchup on October 16th here in the same setting at North Penn's Navy Gym, and they swept North Penn in that best-of-5, winning those first 3 games. So it's great to see North Penn coming out and looking unfazed after that, tough matchup last year, as Plymouth Whitemarsh has a similar-looking team. However, they also did add a couple young players. We got to catch up with head coach for the Colonials, Celia Biley, before the game, and she was talking about, coming off of last season, there's a core group of seniors, but they also have a group of young, talented players. So that's what they are looking forward to most about the season. She's, very hype about that. And that core group of seniors have carried the load so far through these early matchups of the season, where they stand at a 3-1 record. And the success the Colonials were able to experience kind of gave them that experience to do what they are here so far this season. And with the younger players, they're just coming along, and they're having plenty of playing time, as she mentioned, and getting a lot of reps. So the Colonials' future is looking pretty bright, as a lot of these players know what they're doing, and the Colonials have been doing a great job this season. And you see on your screen Scott Coles. We got to catch up with him as well before the game, as we got to talk about how the Knights come in 3-1 as well, and their passing has improved with all-tempo plays, such as plays on the run. They're able to get quick touches off and across the net, to keep the momentum going. So that's the kind of off-tempo plays they're looking at and have succeeded in so far in these early parts of the season. Mainly all the starters are seniors, so they have that experience coming into tonight's matchup. And also, they're continuing to build off of that huge win against Abington. So we got to catch up with some of the players, Natalie Wernley and Aaron Bolin, on both the varsity and JV teams. And they were talking about, as soon as I brought up the past couple games and early parts of the season, they definitely showed a lot of fire, especially coming off of that huge win against Abington. So it had to be huge momentum building for the Knights, especially throughout the practices this week, building up to tonight's matchup against the Colonials. And as we've seen, both teams have come ready and come hungry to try and improve their records to 4-1. So as the seats continue to fill here at North Penn's Navy Gym, we'll get set for our second set of action, where North Penn in Columbia Blue will be on the left side of the screen, and the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials visiting here at North Penn on the right side of the screen in navy blue and red. And in the back of the court, starting off for the Colonials, will be number 18, Sydney Smith, number 13, Smith, number 3, Riffoltz, and number 18, Sydney. Serving it across for North Penn, number 8, Alicia Powers. That will be dug up by Riffoltz. Hard kill, knockdown attempt by Dolan, unable to succeed. And Plymouth Whitemarsh with a hard kill and pick up of a point there for the girls in navy blue. Lily Aquaviva has a long arm wristband, and this shot will fall in. Great shot there by Aquaviva, as she will continue to serve. And the Colonials will continue to lead so far in the second set, 2-0. And both Dolan and Pissu will lay out. Able to keep up by North Penn. Dolan sending it across. And Worley able to knock that attempt away from Connors. Smith hard kill will land in bounds. And both refs will agree on the call. Colonials picking up that point there. Great shot by Smith. We've seen those hard shots coming from both Aja Smith and Lily Aquaviva for the Colonials, and picking up plenty of points so far, such as that first set last action. And that's Aquaviva continuing to demonstrate that with an ace there, landing with a little bit of miscommunication on North Penn side of the ball.
Willie sends it across again.
And that will be back-to-back aces by Aquaviva and the Colonials as Gina Malfa unable to handle that and keep it up for the Knights. The Colonials
Call a timeout. Oh.
And the Colonials will continue possession after this timeout. It looks like Scott Coles, is kind of meandering around as the assistant coaches are getting in and talking to their team on North Penn's side. That's a second timeout called by the Knights so far in tonight's action. First timeout of this set. And see, that's some of the great things we've seen so far from this team. They have a lot of chemistry, and they feed off of a lot of the great plays each of them make. And such as that in the huddle after, starting off this second set down 5-0 again. They just keep the positivity up. Or the Colonials continuing to take over, now taking a 6-0 lead. Similar to the first set, as we'll look to see, however, if the Knights are able to respond as they did earlier tonight. Aquaviva sends across, Dolan laying out, and that ball will head into the crowd. As Mofa unable to get that across the other side of the court. And with her 6th straight serve, Aquaviva will get set for number 5 for the Colonials. Get ready to send it across once again onto the North Penn side. And Dolan's response unable to send it up vertically and will send it out of bounds as the Colonials continue on a roll here early on in the second set. Off the top of the net, Dolan, great stop. Laying out, put up, Smith will poke it across. And Dolan setting it for Mofa. Smith's touch, a couple of North Penn's players laid out as it was kept up, and another attempt there by Powers getting on the ground, unable to keep it up. As the Colonials continue to roll, now up 9-0 in this second set. Dolan responds to Aquaviva's serve. Wernley.
Natalie sets it over.
Fish shot sends it across. Smith, hard kill, and no Knight there able to respond. Yeah, Plymouth Whitemarsh on a roll so far. You see the bench is also getting on their feet. As Aquaviva, number 5 for the Colonials, will continue to serve. As momentum is beginning to shift here in the second set. And that will be an ace off the hands of Pisut. And a timeout called for the Knights. Second of this set.
Colonials take the lead 11-0. North Penn hopes to come out stronger from this.
And with Scott Coles taking control of the huddle. And as the Colonials is continuing their powerful start to this game. Do you expect any kind of game changer so far? As the Colonials, they were back and forth in that first set. It just looks like they're taking a lot of more, hard shots, hard kill attempts in the second set compared to the first one.
I think the first set they were pretty equal, having come back and forth. I think North Penn can definitely come up and overcome this.
So Aquaviva will get set for another serve attempt, as she's been the main one of this second set. And we'll take a pause here for Scott Coles to come out to talk to North Penn Knight libero Francesca Dolan. As Dolan is one of the main core seniors in this game, along with Emily Cooper and Alicia Powers. Those seniors were some of the main enforcers early on in this season, as well as last season. As juniors, they held a lot of the workload. And
we see Natalie with the point, making it 1
with
for
that
North
experience
Penn.
for these younger players, such as Natalie Wernley Jr., as North Penn able to finally respond to the dominating second set so far by the Colonials. And Worley will continue the offense.
Now
as she
Worley
the
sends it
line away.
over, but it's an error.
Ball falling off the top of the net. And Worley will be subbed out for number 6, Macron, for the Knights. Ruffled serve picked up by Dolan, kept up by Powers, and Dolan will send it over the top of her head. Smith, and a hard touch there. Powers unable, correction. That was Maffa unable to keep that ball up. And Libero Reffels will get set for a second straight serve for Plymouth Whitemarsh. The right-handed shot.
North Penn gains another point.
And that right-handed shot by Reffels going just across the orange line here at North Penn. As the Knights will now take over with libero Francesca Dolan to take over here for the Knights, serving it across as they look to build a little bit of momentum, down 13-2 after beating the Patriots in that first set.
The Knights making a come up. They are now 3-13. Although behind, we see that the Knights are hungry to win this game.
Dolan serve set across by Smith, unable to keep it on their side. Where Reffels keeps it up, and the Colonials will send it across. Left-handed touch there by the Knights. Back across Smith. Hard kill attempt, knocked down by Powers. As Malfa sends it back across. Riffles up to Smith. Off the net, and North Penn will now take over, picking up the point there. Back and forth, great defensive sides for both teams on that last possession. Or the Knights picking up that point there. Dolan's touch was sent across, picked up by Riffles. Hard shot there by Aquaviva. My goodness, the Colonials taking control. Aquaviva, one of the main enforcers for Plymouth Whitemarsh so far, as she continues with that strong offensive aspect of her game, not only from serving, as we saw earlier in the second set, but a hard kill shot there off the arms of Dolan. And back to the action. Patterson across, met by Reffels. Kill attempt there by Megan Pooster, stopped. The Knights keep it up. Hard shot going to go out of bounds. And the Colonials picking up another point, 15-4. As number 11, Tancinco will send it across. Laying out, Dolan keeps it up and sends it across the net. Tancinco. And the shot there by Pooster met by the Knights. And a third touch will prove fault for the Colonials, and North Penn picking up the point. Senior Emily Cooper, number 30 in Columbia Blue, will get set to send it across for North Penn. A hard shot from the right hand will be across. And Riffles will send it back. Dolan with the set by Cooper. Spiked by Patterson. An immediate block, however, Cooper's able to keep it up. And now Plymouth Whitemarsh, hard touch, met by Powers, kept up. And number 11, Tancinco's put-up attempt falls out of bounds, as Cooper will get set to send it across once again for North Penn. Ruffle sends it back. Tancinco responds. And one of the few errors there by Aquaviva, number 5, as her shot goes off the net.
We see Cooper get ready to send it over again.
And you hear the bench giving some noise to Emily Cooper with her 4th straight serve. And this one will be responded by Smith falling out of bounds. Reffolds to Aqua
North
Viva
Penn
and unable to
coming
keep it across. As Cooper will continue to roll for the Knights, working their way back, now trailing by 7 at a score of 15-8. The Colonials in the lead. Cooper's light touch across, met by Smith. Tancinko up to number 23, that's Bree Middleton, now subbing in, and her first attempt will fall off the net.
Cooper gets ready to send it over with her 7th consecutive serve.
A great serve, just getting over the net. And here's number 8 for the Colonials. Hooser unable to have that one fall in as North Penn continue to roll and work their way back. Trailing by 5 now, 15-10. Emily Cooper, one of the main core seniors of this ball club. Her serve will get sent across. Smith responds to Tancinko. And it's pretty much exactly like the last possession, as it was Pooster trying to get that ball across. And now with a timeout called by head coach Sealy Byler for the Colonials, we're seeing a bit of a momentum change, as that is the 3rd timeout for on both sides for both teams here in this second set. And this is the kind of energy we were talking about that head coach Scott Coles was mentioning from last game, where he was just saying, like, I'm so proud of our team growing this early in the season and finding a way to win after that tough matchup last week or earlier this week to Abington. And with the energy and heart of this ball club, they're continuing to find those ways to win. As the energy in this crowd tonight and from North Penn's bench is feeding not only Emily Cooper, but the Knights so far. And evident there once again, Reffold's big attempt goes out of bounds, and North Penn continuing with the upkeep, 15-11. They now trail by 4.
Cooper sent it over the net. It's received.
Smith using her left side, getting that ball across. And a great touch there by number 8. Pooser falls off 2 Knights and hits the wood floor, as Colonials now getting back into the offensive side of the category, 16-12, as Smith gets ready to send it away for the girls in navy blue. It looks like Cooper trying to get a quick tap onto the Colonial side of the court there, ever hitting the top of the net and falling short. Smith will get set.
Asia Smith, number 13 for PW, gets ready to send it over. It's received by number 11 in Colombian blue.
And a hard kill there, falls through. Number 8, Alicia Powers, the senior, able to split 2 Colonial defenders in the back of the court and fall down for a kill.
Making that 4 down for North Penn.
And number 7, Diana Pursuit, will sub in now to the ball game, and she'll serve this away, jumping, getting a hard hit across, met by Smith. Responding is Reffolds now, met by Dolan on the Columbia side of the ball. And Powers' hard kill attempt dug up by Connors. Smith, hard tap with the right arm, sends it across. Dolan back up. Wernley, hard kill attempt, immediately met by number 8, Megan Pooser, but no one else on the Plymouth Whitemarsh side of the court to respond to that initial touch and knock down as the ball hits the court. And Pursuit gets set to send it away once again for North Penn.
That was an error for Pursuit, that serve.
On that last serve, looks like she just tried to work that shot into your bottom right of the screen. However, hitting the top of the net will give the Colonials the point and possession.
We see Megan Pruser for PW, sends it across. Received by Dolan.
And Cindy to Aqua Viva, met by Powers, and what a block knocking down one of the heavy hitters on Plymouth Whitemarsh's offensive side of the ball. And my goodness, senior Alicia Powers knocking that one down, picking up a point for North Penn as well as the possession. And keeping this momentum going here in North Penn's Navy Gym. This one heading out towards the scorekeeper's desk. Sydney tried to keep it in, unable to get two hands on it. And Manny Mejia for North Penn in Columbia Blue will serve this one away. 18-16, North Penn trails by 2. And this serve will fall just out. Connor's able to just work her way out of the way of that ball. As the error there will give the Colonials now the ball, and Sydney gets set to send it away. Dolan looks to fan on the put up. Powers will send it back across. Smith to Sydney. Naklovivo shot will get dug up by North Penn. Block, knocked down.
Kill.
Cooper sends it back over with the right arm. Here comes Smith, number 13. Sends it up. Dolan responds. Cooper
sets it.
To Wernley, hard block, and she tried to get that right back. The block there by both number 17 Connors and number 9 Halfordy. And Plymouth Whitemarsh will pick up the point as the officials seem to double check on both sides of the court, see who had that point. And the correct call there as the Colonials will now take over with possession. Pursuit up to Cooper to Wernley. Across court, and Aquavina unable to keep it up. As she used her right hand, unable to get it. Enough control, then get her body in front. As it will now be Alicia Powers taking the serve as Cooper is subbed out for number 19 for North Penn, Gina Mofa. And Powers' serve will hit the bottom left of the net on your far side of the screen, giving PW now a 21-17 lead and possession with one of their hard hitters, Aquaviva at number 5. Her serve will be sent sky high into the air off of Mofa, and Mofa's light touch off, and Chloe's able to keep it up off the net. And this attempt as Mofa falls down, trying to get that ball just over the net. Almost to do a bit of an acrobatic stance, unable to get it across.
Aquaviva gets ready to serve it again.
And
she sends it over.
She's one of the main names we have repeated tonight, as she's done a great job for the Colonials and will continue to rack up the points as the Knights unable to keep that ball up off of the net. And now needing 2 more to win this second set, Aquaviva will send it away for PW. Dolan lays out, unable to keep it straight as the ball will roll into the crowd, 24-17. The Colonials will get set as Aquaviva leading PW very early on in this second set to take a 9-0 lead. As the score got closer, but now she will look to finish it off. Raffles up. And
Good
a hard
block.
spike there by number 9. Allison Halfordy will be met by North Penn's great wall of China along that net, and we knock down, picking up a point for North Penn.
Natalie Wernley, number 25 in Colombian blue, sends it over.
And her serve will stay just within the line. Line official saw a bit of orange contact with the ball there. And Wernley picking up an ace in the back of PW side of the court. Her second serve will be put up, met by PW. Number 5, Aquaviva gets this across by the scorekeeper. And a stoppage of play, and they will give North Penn the point, as it looked like Aquaviva went just too far out of play and out of bounds, giving North Penn the point and continuing with possession. 20-24, North Penn trails by 4.
Natalie sends it over. That's received.
Refolds laying out, keeping up. Smith will get a shot off attempt. Wernley puts it up back across the Colonial side. Wernley to Powers, puts it across, and right in the middle, Alicia Powers smirks after that light touch, falling right in the middle of PW's court, and a timeout called by Sealy Byler, as it just looked like Whole lot of miscommunication right there for the Colonials. Unfortunate, and it looked like a must-needed timeout call by the Colonials as they need to get set and refocus, trying to wrap up this second set, needing only one more point, leading 24-21, and looking to just pick up a win and prevent going down 0-2 early on in tonight's matchup in this number of sets. Number 25, Natalie Warnley for the Knights in Columbia Blue. Will
Sends
send
it
it
over.
across. Reffolds digs it up. Put it by Sydney and Smith, and Mofa will both make contact. However, the ball will roll out of bounds on North Penn's side
Making
as the
Plymouth
second set is concluded.
Plymouth Whitemarsh takes the lead, making that set their win.
And both teams will even up the amount of sets here as Plymouth Whitemarsh winning this second set 25-21 after North Penn defeated them in that first set earlier on in tonight's matchup 25-23. So we've seen a great amount of action. Both teams showing both offensive and defensive control on their sides of the court. We've seen a little bit of miscommunication, but that's what we can expect from both teams, especially in some of the big key moments. It's all about who are those players, who are the seniors, and some younger players that will step up to make some of these big plays in crucial moments.
We see that the crowd just continues to fill up. The stands are getting full.
So as you saw in that second set, some of the key names from both the first and second set we have to point out. Definitely on the Plymouth Whitemarsh side of the ball, Aquaviva, who dominated that early part of the second set. Serving, she's got that tall vertical, and she plays both the outer and closer part of the nets. On Plymouth Whitemarsh's side of the court, and she has set up a lot of the kills as well as those serves for the Colonials.
For North Penn, we see Natalie Warnley with the serves. We also saw Cooper, and we saw Dolan. All key players doing great.
And that is a great mix of the senior and upper and lower classmen coming up into this program. As you mentioned, for both sides, they got a lot of a senior core, senior talent, but as well as some younger players ready to come up and continue getting not only playing time, but experience in these volleyball programs. And that's what made these teams so successful and have brought a lot of the win so far earlier on in the season. Both teams sitting at 3-1 behind undefeated Hapoel Horsham as they sit at 4-0 in the top of the standings. And in points-wise, both teams at 3 points on the standings in second and third place. So at the end of tonight's matchup, we will see one of these teams taking over in the standings, the top of the list, regarding both teams respectively. As the officials get set to begin the action, here we have, starting in the back of the court, libero Francesca Dolan in pink, wearing number 31, number 7, Diana Pisut, and number 19, Gina Maffa for North Penn, as number
18, Melio Sydney gets ready to send it over.
And that is who it is, with the right arm sending it across, met by Dolan. And
North Penn gets that point.
And a point there for North Penn as the call looked to be Plymouth Whitemarsh getting a hand on the net. The North Penn will pick up the free point there on error by the Colonials. And subbing in now Morgan Patterson in number 2 will sub in for number 7, Diana Pisut.
Number 25, Natalie Warnley in Colombian blue gets ready to send it over.
Oh, it's right there, falls short off the bottom of the net, rolling down. Giving Plymouth Whitemarsh now a point and possession, tied here 1-1 early on in this third set action. And Dolan in pink will put that up. Powers will keep it in bounds. Sent across by Mofa. Sydney to Connors. Hard kill. Dolan. Not much she could do there as she went on her knees to try to get her arms around. However, that ball was put hard down onto the floor by number 17 for the Colonials, Jillian Connor. And here's Aquaviva sending it across, met by Dolan. And sent back across by Mofa, met by Sydney on the cross court. Connors hard touch, going to the back, laid out by Connors, keeping it up. However, no Knight was there able to respond to keep that ball up, as it will fall short. And the Colonials will continue with possession. Here's Aquaviva once again in number 5. Right arm sends it across towards the back of the court, picking up an ace as number 6, Macron, attempted to keep that ball up. Were unable to do so as the Colonials will improve to a score of 4-1 over North Penn here in their Navy gym.
Colonials send it over. That's received.
And a double touch there by the Knights will give the Colonials possession. And we haven't seen much of those errors and miscues so far in these last couple sets, but they are going to play crucial, especially the fact that both teams have played in such close scores in both those 2 sets. So every little error, every little miscue counts to a point, giving the other team an advantage, especially late in those sets. Now up 6-1, the Colonials. Aquaviva will send it across once again. Met by Patterson, served up across. Patterson will touch it again. And Raffles will settle it. The Connors sending it across towards midcourt. Dolan right there to respond. And with Patterson to Sydney, who will put it back up. Hard touch by Aquaviva, met with the left arm by Alicia Powers, sent back across by Macron. And PW able to keep it in play. However, this one will now be set across North Penn's side and fall out of bounds, giving North Penn the point and possession. 2-6. North Penn trails by 4. As number 21, Madison Mejia will sub in for number 22, Lyndon Wagenhofer for the Knights.
Dolan sends it over. That's received.
Sydney to Smith.
13 sends
She'll
it
tap
over.
this one across. Met by Macron. Mejia's initial touch will be met immediately by Colonial. Back across. Raffles keeps it up. Connors hard right touch. Met by Landon, laying out his Powers. Excuse me, correction. That was number 6. Malaya Macron unable to keep the ball up as it hit the bottom of the net and fell down. And the libero for the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials in gray. Sophia Raffles will send it across, met by North Penn's libero Dolan, and now sent back across by Alicia Powers. Hard touch there, number 8. Megan Pusser picking up another point on a kill attempt right by that net, as we've seen plenty so far in tonight's action. As the PW Colonials will continue with possession. And now a score of 8-2 as Raffles sends it across. Dolan to Powers. Crossed on the net. What a touch. Able to keep it across. Smith, however, was able to get it and keep it up. Dolan lays out. And Patterson, light touch, unable to fall down. Sydney. And a great touch there by Pusser, met by Dolan. However, a bit of a miscue as the ball hits the court on North Penn's side, unable to get it across. And that back and forth will end up giving the Colonials the point and continuous possession as Raffles will get set to serve it away for her 4th consecutive serve. Dolan working to keep it in bounds. That was number 19. Gina Maffa, who put it up. However, North Penn unable to pick up a point there. As Raffles putting in that work on her serving here in these last couple possessions, with PW continuing to rack up the points. 10-2, the Colonials lead. Raffles sends it across. The initial touch by Dolan was received a bit overhand as the ball wasn't up enough for Alicia Powers to get that ball up off the ground. As PW will continue taking over with the offensive edge of this game. And a similar touch there by Dolan off of the serve by Reffoltz. And a timeout will be called by North Penn. The first of this third set of tonight's matchup. And you know, we have seen this throughout this game where it looks like Plymouth Whitemarsh comes out with a commanding start as they now lead here in this third set 12-2. What do you think Coach Scott Coles is talking to his North Penn volleyball team about in this huddle, in this timeout?
Keeping them motivated. I think he's more the team members are all talking to each other. I think, like you said, they're very positive and they all just support each other. I think they're ready to come out and recover from this.
They do seem like a family, and that is always important on every team, especially here at North Penn, as you see the crowd on hand supporting the girls in Columbia Blue tonight as they are looking to draw some energy and motivation for their Knights team as they look to battle back here in this third set with both teams even up 1-1, where North Penn won the first set earlier tonight and the Colonials won that second set. And as we continue play here, Reffoltz will put it up, and Connor's hard touch, unable to fall through. Macron was the answer to that. Patterson picks it up, sends it back across, met by Reffoltz. Sydney to Smith, back across Landon using the right arm. Great
Patterson
touch.
passes again.
Sydney just putting it up. Connors, oh, miscue. Connors keeps it up. Laying out, it will head across. Landon keeps it up. And falling back, Reffoltz keeps the ball in play as it was initially falling out of bounds. Hard touch by Alcoriva. Landon meets it. Powers keeping it up. Landon in 31, back across to Smith. To Sydney, back to Smith. Hard kill attempt there, met by Powers. Both teams battling back and forth, settling it. Another shot falls through. Smith back to the crowd, laying out, and the ball will fall out of bounds on North Penn's side of the court. And what a back and forth action. No doubt the best part of all three sets so far, and that comes right there with North Penn picking up the point and possession.
Cooper subs in for Maffa. She goes ready to send it over. She sends that over, and that is an error.
Cooper unable to get the serve across, as Colonials will improve their lead 13-3. And now Smith, wearing number 13 in navy blue and red for the Colonials. She'll get ready to send it over on her serve. Number 8, Powers to Cooper. And back to Powers, however, the refs call a stoppage of play, double touch. And the Colonials will pick up the point as Smith will get ready to serve at the line once again for PW. Smith met by Powers. Cooper to Mejia. Touched twice there by number 8, Megan Brewster, one of the main net answers at that line for PW as she continues to show her dominant gameplay tonight. Smith will send a line drive across the net. Cooper will get a quick touch over. Sydney puts it up. Connors hard kill met by Dolan, however it will fall just short of the net and rolling out of bounds. And we are seeing a dominant third set here by Plymouth Whitemarsh. 16-3 they lead as Smith gets ready to send it over once again. Do you think there was any kind of talk or think any kind of play style they talked about in changing coming into this third set, Sophia?
You know, I really couldn't tell you. I think that the first set, they were really all, I think both teams were doing phenomenal. It was a close set. I think the second set, they came out stronger. I don't know what their strategy was, but it's working.
And yeah, both teams showing a bit of a play style on the defensive side of the ball tonight. We are here at North Penn's Navy Gym. I'm Eric Jesperg alongside Sophia Hughes as we continue our varsity volleyball action between the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials and the North Penn Knights here at North Penn's Navy Gym. 16-4, the Colonials lead. As Sydney will put it up to Aquaviva. Hard kill shot just through the arms of Landon. There's not much time to react to those kind of shots as we've seen all night by Aquaviva picking up another point for PW as they will continue their commanding offensive side of the ball tonight. 17-4. as they look to pick up back-to-back set wins and improve to 2-1 here in the matchup tonight.
Natalie with that hard kill.
That was Natalie Wornley, hard kill attempt met by Pusser. Landon will send it back. Pusser keeps it up. Then miscommunication between the libero for North Penn, Dolan, and senior Emily Cooper, as the ball will hit the wood floor, giving the Colonials continuous possession and another point tonight. And a stoppage of play as a timeout called
By North Penn.
And a timeout called, I believe, by Sealy Beyer. So tonight has been action-filled, teams going back and forth. A pretty different story here in this third set. And you got to figure this timeout being called by Plymouth Whitemarsh and head coach Sealy Beyer. They're just looking to regroup and make sure, the girls are settled and looking to prevent another, working back for North Penn, as you've seen all game, where it seems like North Penn kind of gets better as they continue the play in the set. But so far, we'll have to see if the Knights are able to work that back in, as Plymouth Whitemarsh looks to be able to settling that down and keeping this crowd somewhat contained here at North Penn's Navy Gym. And it really is important that the Colonials do that, because we've seen in the past couple games, especially at home, not only does North Penn's players on the court, but also on the bench, they feed off of the energy from those who come to support them in the stands, from parents, and as well as the fans coming out to watch the girls play. And it looks like a scoreboard possible issue, as the ref and Mrs. Byler will meet up to talk to North Penn's scorekeepers.
Along with Coach Coles representing North Penn.
So as they take this time to possibly check up on the scoreboard, if you expect Plymouth Whitemarsh to continue the same kind of action and same kind of dominance, we can look to expect a 2-1 set lead by Plymouth Whitemarsh. Sophia, how do you feel the Knights will have to, talk about and respond heading into this fourth set coming up after this set here?
Well, I think the Knights have a lot of aggression. We can see the frustration between all of them. I think that there could be a comeback. I mean, they were close in the last set, making that set 2. I just think that they'll come up with some new strategy, maybe try some different players, and see how that goes.
I think it is important to note that, as you mentioned, the aggression, not so much towards each other, but, if, they're unable to keep the ball up, or, even though they're showing the effort, laying out and heading almost face first into the crowd, they know that, they're a great group of girls. They have a great core, so they have a lot of potential in their lineups and their play styles. So when those kind of breaks aren't able to fall their way, they get frustrated, but they're very optimistic, and you see it's just a great group of people, and they're a family. So that's what's important for the Knights in Columbia Blue to continue to work on, as they have had a winning season so far. Both teams coming into tonight 3-1 on the record, sitting tied at second place in the standings behind Hatboro Horsham. So it is a big matchup. These teams aren't really considered rivals, but there definitely is some tension, especially into tonight's matchup, where it is such a big game regarding standings-wise.
Maddie Mejia sends that over to Plymouth Whitemarsh. That's a hard kill. North Penn gets the point.
And right back to action. Maddie Mejia with the serve, and 22 will meet the initial dig and pick up by Colonials' side. Wagenhofer puts that back across, picking up a point for North Penn.
That was an error on Maddie Mejia.
Ball falling short off the edge of the net, as Mejia will be subbed out now coming into the game.
Giving possession.
Knights libero Francesca Dolan will come in, as number 8, Megan Pusser, will send it across for the Colonials. And Dolan's immediately dig up will be met by number 8 for North Penn, Alicia Powers, and her layout attempt unable to keep it up, as PW will continue with the points and the possession. The serve will be set across, and Dolan immediately makes no effort to get that one, as she knows it was well over her head, and falls out of bounds, giving the Knights now possession, as Alicia Powers, senior, wearing number 8, will get ready to send it across court. Her right-hand touch we put up, met by Ruffles. Sydney to Smith now sending it across. Landon sends back across Natalie Worley.
Natalie with the hard kill, getting that point.
And a great touchdown by Natalie Worley, as the initial defender with the attempt there for the Colonials, Sophia Reffels, unable to keep that ball up. And Alicia Powers will head back to the back of her court, getting ready to serve it away once again. Reffels to Sydney, now putting it back up to Smith. And we've seen that all game, but this time Natalie Worley, like a brick wall on that one, getting both hands up and knocking that down immediately and sending it on the PW side of the court, picking up a point, 19-9. The Colonials still lead by 10, looking to win this third set. And they'll pick up another point there as the initial shot. And the defender attempt there by Natalie Worley, unable to get her body in front and falling out of bounds, giving PW another point and continuing with possession. And there looks to be some issue on the far side of the screen, as both head coaches will meet up with the official and the scorekeepers. So as we get set to continue this third set of action, we've seen a lot of back and forth momentum shifts so far in tonight's matchup, not only in this set, but in the first 2 sets in tonight's action. North Penn trying to work their way back into this one, as Worley will send it across, met by Connors. Hard touch there by Aquaviva, sending right up towards your screen in your living room, as that one was right off Knight's arm, off the wood floor and right up into the crowd. Aquaviva demonstrating that powerful touch there once again for the Colonials. This will be set across. Number 16 for North Penn.
With a hard touch out of bounds.
Back.
Dolan keeps it in. Natalie
trying
tries
to keep that one in play, however falling out of bounds. And the Colonials improving their lead now to 22-9, as they are continuing to control this third set. Number 13, Smith, will send it away. Met by Patterson, put up initially. And number 22, Wagenhofer, keeps it across, and this shot there by the Colonials will fall inbounds within that orange line on the outskirts of the court. And the Colonials continuing with possession and their upkeep of this scoreboard, 23-9. 2 points away from completing this third set and going up 2-1 in tonight's 5-game series.
Over.
Touch there, Sydney keeps it up, wearing number 18. Back across to Reffels. Light touch there, unable to keep it up, as a different kind of hit there compared to her earlier touches. Aquaviva getting a light touch and just beating the jumping hands of number 22, Wagenhofer, on that initial block attempt for North Penn.
Asia Smith, number 13 for PW, serves it over. It goes out of bounds. That's an error for PW, gaining a point for North Penn.
And just putting a little too much on that, as she's looking to conclude this third set, but North Penn will get ready to try and work their way back into it, down 24-10. Natalie Worley was the one who kind of built it up last set. Let's see if she can do so again. As she's wearing number 25, will send it back across. Sydney, and this hard shot there by number 9 for PW. Allison Halfordy just put a little too much on, hitting the back of the cushions here in the North Penn Navy gym. Worley sends it across, successful serve again, and North Penn picking up another point on the whiff attempt there by Halfordy along the net.
Natalie Wernley with a great serve. She gets ready to send it over again.
Wernley with her third consecutive serve will get it across and look to be whipped by Connors, and this one will fall on the far side of the court as Greffords look to try and clean up that tough break for PW. As Wernley will continue to roll.
We see Natalie's ready to serve. She gives no time. She sends it over.
And a hard touch dug up there by Greffords on one knee. She'll then send this one across, going to the back left of your screen. Correction, that was your far right. Falling out of bounds. And no worries there for North Penn as they continue taking control. Looking to work their way back in. Wernley will send it across. Aquaviva to Greffords. To Connors with her right hand will send it up. Dolan responds. To Connors to Patterson. Light touch. This one will fall right by the logo. And that was perfectly placed where no Colonial was able to get to it, not even lay out. Take a close to that one. 24-15. North Penn working their way as Worley will get set for another serve. This one will fall in. Aquaviva, great job by Sydney, able to keep that one up. And this one will be set across by Patterson. Head towards the back on court. Set across, kept in by Sydney along the crowd. Worley up to Connors. And a great touch there. Greffords digs it up on the shot by Knight. Across Dolan, and both teams working back and forth. Great touch. Laying out was Connors. My goodness, what a great touch. As you saw, kind of the same routine. Both teams would get it, set it, and then put it across. However, great touch there by number 16. That was Patterson picking up the point for North Penn. And a hard kill attempt by Aquaviva, hitting the net initially and rolling down 17-24. North Penn trailing as Worley gets set for another serve. I believe her 8th consecutive one here in this third set. Put across. Patterson, where number 2 will put it up. And we'll get back to Patterson, and the block and stopped there by number 9. Allison Halferty will finally conceal this third set as, heading into this break, Plymouth Whitemarsh will now lead 2-1 in the sets. But honestly, you really have to expect the momentum in this game, even though Plymouth Whitemarsh obviously picked up that win, defeating North Penn in that third set 25-17. That momentum seemed to be going more towards the Knights. What have you thought so far, Sophia?
I think that North Penn really came back from that timeout. They really showed that they wanted to win this game. They were hungry. Their strategies are working. We saw Natalie as a key player doing great at serving. We saw great defense. I think the plays were just really improving as we went on. They were not giving up to let that ball fall.
So now as we get set to head into that fourth set, we have to see possibly the same kind of groove North Penn. However, PW, as you see on your far side screen, they are getting hype as they know that was a huge win here in the third set. And in your best of 5, North Penn will now need to win 3 sets, where PW now only needs to pick up 1 more to complete the win. As the stands continue to fill up here for North Penn here in the North Penn's Navy Gym, I'm Eric Jesperger alongside colleague Sophia Hughes on a great matchup so far tonight between the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials and North Penn Knights. Both teams have come in tonight with a record of 3-1. And both teams coming off of wins. North Penn defeating Abington in a best of 5, 3-2, playing in all 5 sets. And Plymouth Whitemarsh coming off of a sweep against Penridge, winning 3-0 in those best of 5 sets.
We see both coaches talking to their team. We can see that they both are aggressive. They're ready. They do not want to give this ball up.
And also, it's important to note that we've seen much of her action tonight. Aja Smith, one of the main enforcers, not only tonight's game, but also last game, as she led the way at the net with 7 kills to go along with 17 digs. and 1 ace on one of her serves. So those are some of the stats and some of the play styles we've seen and have heard from like all season for some of these Colonial players as they handed Penn Ridge their first conference loss of this season. So as we get set to get this next set ready, North Penn on your left side of the screen in Columbia blue, the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials visiting here tonight at North Penn. On your right side of the screen in navy blue and red numbers. So as the officials converse and get ready to begin this fourth set. Sophia, what are you expecting here coming in, and what have you expected some of the talk coming out of the huddle? Maybe on Plymouth Whitemarsh side, led by head coach Celie Byler, what do you think was some of her motives coming in, as the visiting team, and with the crowd on hand tonight is building up? I think they're looking to grasp and take control of this Navy gym once again, similar to last season when they swept North Penn. What do you think some of the motives and talk was coming into this next set?
I think Coach Blyer for PW really talked to them. I think she wanted maybe their defense to come back stronger. I think for North Penn, Coles is proud of what Natalie achieved and the whole team.
There was a great start there for North Penn, picking up an ace, number 16, Charlotte Patterson in Columbia blue. Tonight's looking to do something they haven't quite been able to do early on in these sets, and in tonight's matchup is getting a lead early on in these sets, as Plymouth Whitemarsh has dominated all of them so far, and even taking a 9-0 lead before North Penn was able to score a point in that second set. So as that ball will fall out of bounds, Aquaviva will get set to control for the Colonials and send it across, with the score tied at 1-1 here in set 4. Aquaviva's serve will go out of bounds, just missing the orange line here on the court, giving possession to North Penn, and Natalie Worley the ball, one of the main servers here tonight for North Penn. She will look to continue her dominant performance for the Knights in tonight's game. And that serve attempt falling short, one of the few errors we've seen, especially from the serving aspect of the Knights game tonight. As the ball will now roll over to Plymouth Whitemarsh side of the court, as Sophia Reffoltz wearing number 3 and gray as the libero will send the cross, received by Knight libero Dolan. And that initial shot coming off of the arms of Purser will fall off of Dolan's arms and land on the hardwood floor, giving Plymouth Whitemarsh now a 3-2 lead and continuing with ball possession. Patterson sends it across, and close call there by the officials, as it looked like the ball must have hit the net or possibly the hand of Charlotte Patterson, and didn't quite see any twine move there from that ball. But the officials will give the call going over to PW, and now giving them possession. And this shot there by number 2, Morgan Patterson, with sister Charlotte Patterson, both players on the court at the same time.
Maddie Mejia subs in for player 22.
And as Maddie Mejia subbing in for Lyndon Wagenhofer, as libero Francesca Dolan will send it across for North Penn. Sydney to Smith. She'll send it over the top of her shoulder across on North Penn's side. Alicia Powers off the top of the net and the arms of Smith. Sydney will keep it up. Now across the Condors, hard kill attempt. And met by the arms of North Penn, and it will be on the Knights side. Alicia Powers with a great block there, knocking it down and picking up the point, evening up the score 4-4 here in set 4, with PW leading 2-1 on sets here tonight.
Smith sends it over.
And a great touch there. And Patterson's kill attempt was met by a brick wall consisting of Colonials players Allison Halferty and Aja Smith. And Smith will now head to the back of the court, getting ready to send this across on her serve tonight. Dolan laying out, falling to her right. Give it off to Powers, and will be sent across by Patterson. Sydney, light touch. Oh, wow. Able to fake out the North Penn's initial block attempt. That was Megan Pusser tapping that one with the right hand gently over the initial block attempts by the Knights and falling onto the wood floor, giving the Colonials a 6-4 lead and giving Smith the ball once again here to serve it across for PW. Dolan to Patterson, put up for Powers. Light touch. We met by Pusser. Now over to Connors, and it will fall off the right arms of Alicia Powers and will roll onto the bleachers. And Smith will continue her reign here as server. Sending this one across. And Dolan's big attempt will fall into the crowd. Then we see energy building up here from the Colonials bench, and the fans here making the drive from PW to North Penn to support their Colonial players and the volleyball team. Serve sent across by Smith, met by Dolan, put up, Patterson right arm, and her light touch attempt looking to go across court will be unable to fall across, hitting the top of the twine and rolling down. This will be a timeout called by Scott Coles as PW improves their lead by 5. Now the score of 9-4 here in this fourth set.
Both teams keeping up the energy, only the energy is getting stronger. We see PV seems pretty confident right now. We hope to see that North Penn comes out ready to win this game.
And some of the key names you have to expect to hear coming in, in this last set. It's do or die now for the Knights as they need to work their way back into it. Seniors and some of the core players such as Francesca Dolan as libero for the Knights, as well as Emily Cooper and Alicia Powers. They've been some of the main names we have talked about in a lot of the action and big plays for North Penn, as they are going to be some of the main contributors as they have been all season, mentioned by head coach Scott Coles, as they are the core to this ball club and are looking to try and work their way back into tonight's matchup, down 2-1 in sets in the best-of-5 series. As he actually continues, ref hold sends it across. That's Dolan there in pink, will put it up. Now for Patterson to Powers, and PW will keep the ball rolling. Hard touch there by Smith, met by Dolan, kept up by Patterson. To her sister, Patterson. And this light touch attempt almost was able to fake out the North Penn blockers. However, it falls off the top of the net.
We see subbing Cooper and Moffat both are coming in for players 16 and 8. That would be 16 coming out is Charlotte Patterson. We see Cooper getting ready to send the ball over.
Down by 4 is North Penn as Emily Cooper will take over with possession.
Sends the ball over, received by player 3.
And the initial touch there by number 3, Sophia Refholtz, will be put up for Sydney, unable to get the ball across, as Emily Cooper will continue with the ball possession and serving for North Penn. Now down by 3, 6-9, North Penn trails. Hard hit there by Cooper. We can hear that from all the way up in the booth, and that will pick up an ace for number 30 and senior Emily Cooper. One of the names we talked about coming into this last set after coming out of that timeout. It's going to be Cooper as one of the main enforcers here late in this fourth set. And a light touch and a short hit will force Aquaviva to try and get that touch off on the run and hit the far side of your screen off that net. As it will roll and hit the floor, 8-9, North Penn working their way back. Coming out with momentum as this crowd continues to roll. This serve, however, put a little too much on it by Cooper, as it will go out of bounds, giving PW a point and possession, as number 17, Jillian Connor, will send it away for the Colonials.
Cooper sets it.
Sending it over ahead to Patterson, met by the Colonials. Connor gets it off. And a hard touch there by Cooper, met by Libero. For the Colonials, ref fault, however, the shot will go out of bounds.
North Penn getting close with 9 points and PW with 10 points.
And a correction as the officials will meet up. It looks like it will be PW's point, as the far official had a better view on the call. And it will be the Colonials' point and continuing possession. Connors will get set to send it away on her second consecutive serve. Fanned on the touch by number 6, Malaya Macron. And now down by 4, the Knights trailing by the score, 8-12. Connors will send it away for the Colonials.
Received by Maffa, set by Cooper.
Great touch as she was able to avoid hitting that net. Close, she'll touch it again. And Dolan to Patterson, and here comes PW, hard touch, and nothing you could do there. Aqua Viva, nothing you could do to react to that one quick enough, as she's had that hard touch all night, one of the main offensive players and kill shooters for PW, and she demonstrates it there once again, giving PW now a 13-8 lead.
Cooper sets it over.
Sidney will put it up, Connors with the touch, met by Cooper, laying out, and kept up there. What a play there by Gina Moffel. Play will continue, and the block
Cooper
there by
hits
Mejia will keep the ball up and settle for Cooper. To Dolan, to Mofa, now back here goes Akaviva, and this shot will go out of bounds on your close side of the screen, and here comes the momentum shift as the girls in Columbia Blue, the Knights.
Natalie Wernley comes back out.
And we got to mention that again. What a phenomenal effort showed there by number 19, Gina Mofa, laying out for that. And it almost looked like she wasn't able to get a hand on it, but it looked like just the fingertips kept it up. And Dolan and Emily Cooper kept the ball rolling. And later in that possession, giving North Penn the point and possession. And as it continues,
Natalie with the hard kill.
And the hype is building. Natalie Wernley kill shot. The initial block attempt falling off the right arm of Megan Prusser for the Colonials. And now set here, number 7, subbing in Diana Paisut, will serve it away for North Penn. Her serve up, met by Connors. Sidney.
We see that good block by Natalie Wernley. Again, gaining another point for North Penn.
Natalie Wernley with the stop there on Prusser. A little bit of words exchanged after that one, as that hype was building. And my goodness, here we go. North Penn now trailing by 2, with the Colonials leading 13-11. As Prusser gets set to send it away for North Penn. This will go to the far side. Close call. It's called. And they're going to, officials will meet up. And it looked like they did get the call, as the line caller said that one stayed within. However, the official got a better view on it, giving PW the point, possession, and now an ace there picked up by number 8, Megan Prusser for the Colonials. As PW now leads 15-11 with possession still. Prusser will send it away, met by Wormley, settled by Cooper, sending it right across. PW sniffing that out. Sidney will get it, and a great touch there by Aqua Viva, one of the few right touches we've seen here tonight from the senior for PW, and Prusser will get ready to send it again with her 3rd consecutive serve. Met by Dolan, put up by Cooper, and the touch there by Mejia across. Able to get a hand on it was Connors, and the hard touch there, and hit by Aquariva as the initial block attempt by Emily Cooper, unable to keep it in front and rolling towards the back of the court. Giving PW another point, and timeout will be called by head coach Scott Coles for North Penn, as they will look to group up and try and calm themselves down. As we saw, it was a little back and forth in this fourth set of action early on. Started moving towards PW. Back to North Penn, especially with some of the leading plays by number 25 and junior Natalie Wernley. However, PW is looking to get back control of this game, and especially with the time out there by Scott Coles, he's looking to prevent any more damage here in these momentum shifts so far.
Again, with Natalie Wernley, like I said, I think she really just gets the game started.
As play will get set to continue here in set 4. Almer Jesberg alongside Sophia Hughes here in North Penn's Navy Gym. 17-11, the Colonials lead. As they'll send this across by Connors, met by libero for North Penn, Dolan. And Wernley's shot, there it is once again. Natalie Wernley putting it across and picking up a point for North Penn along with possession, as the Knights now trail by 5.
I think we can see Natalie Wernley's strength would probably be kills and blocks. She's very talented at that. We have Makia getting ready to send it over.
And subbing in for the Colonials, Halfordy will come in for Megan Pusser.
We see a hard hit.
Cooper up to Wernley, number 25. Great touch in the center. Laying out was Reffels, keeping that ball for PW. Cooper settles it. Bench wanting a double touch. However, play will continue. Wernley sending it across. Settled by Sydney. Hard touch there by number 9. And that coming off the bench. Halfordy will pick up a point for PW. And a tough break there for North Penn, as it looked like the officials had a little bit of words to exchange on why they had that call there, as it will fall on PW's side, picking up a point. The serve across by Sydney, met by Dolan, picked up. Wernley with the right arm sends it back across. Hard touch by Aquaviva, and a hard hit will hit the net right off that touch. And North Penn will take over. As Cooper will be subbed out now, along with number 19, Gina Maffa. As Diana Pissu will come back into the game for the girls in Columbia Blue. Sending this away will be Charlotte Patterson on the serve. Met by Aquaviva. Smith looked like just not able to find enough room on that shot, as she was met immediately with the ref in her face along with the pillar, and unable to get that ball over. We'll give North Penn the point, and now Patterson gets ready to send it away once again for North Penn. Aquaviva gets that across with her tall vertical. Wernley will touch with the right hand. PW able to settle with Smith with a hard touch back of the court. What a shot by Ija Smith, wearing number 13 for PW, picking up another point and improving the Colonials' lead 19-14, reaching the end here of set 4. And it looks like a meeting here between the officials. And a call will stand. PW picking up the point. That was the correct call, as it was definitely in, and no Knights were there to respond to that one at all. So the defense is looking to try and tighten up a little bit here for the Knights, if they're looking to work their way back. And then in this one, now trailing by 5, the Colonials lead 19-14 here in North Penn's Navy Gym. And Wernley will hit the pole in the net, as she was unable to get that one up with her fingertips. PW will now head into the 20-score mark, leading by 6, needing 5 more points to secure the win here tonight on the road. Aquaviva will send it across, their best server.
Natalie trying.
And the Colonials' best server continues to do her job here for PW. Aquaviva wearing number 5. Improving the score now, 21-14, Colonials lead. Aquaviva's serve will be met by Powers, and Powers will get this ball back, putting it up, scooped up and kept up by PW. Patterson, and a great touch there by Muffle, unable to keep it up, and this will be off the hands of Wernley, heading and rolling out of bounds. 22-14, the Colonials now lead, as Aquaviva will continue to serve away for PW. The cross pistol able to keep it up. Number 22, great touch there by Wagenhofer for North Penn, and the block.
Good block for North Penn.
Great stop there by Alicia Powers, senior, as she's hyping up the crew. North Penn looking to gain and grasp this momentum here late in this game, as Pusu will be subbed out for number 2, Morgan Patterson, coming in to the game
Number
for North Penn.
Number 25, Natalie Wernley, one of the key servers we've seen, gets ready to send the ball over.
And almost like deja vu, as Wernley will take over to serve once again here in the late parts of this set.
Looks like there's miscommunication on PW's side.
Dolan will send it across, met by Sophia Ruffoltz, the libero for PW, sending it back across. Dolan, and it will get across to Patterson, however met and picked up by PW. Dolan will respond, keeping it up, hard kill attempt. Will be shot there and beating the arms and reaction time of number 16, Charlotte Patterson for North Penn. And PW now 2 points away, taking a commanding 23-15 lead here in set 4. And PW libero Sophia Ruffoltz wearing the gray, and number 3 will send this away. Serve up, met by Dolan. Plays up to Patterson, to her sister, Morgan Patterson. And Connor's touch, picked up by Dolan again. Patterson to Powers, light touch, and this will fall through. And no one home to pick up that one. Great touch, Powers put that in the exact right spot.
Coming on, Mejia, number
21, Madison Mejia will be subbed into the game now, as Dolan will send it away. Met by Ruffoltz on PW side. Hard spike there by
rushing to get the ball.
My Aquaviva with a hard hit will pick up the 24th point here for PW in this 4th set, as they now lead 24-16, with a match point opportunity coming up here, as one of the core players and main names we've heard all night, Aja Smith, gets set to send it away for the Colonials. Dolan responds, picking it up. Patterson to Morgan Patterson. Light touch picked up by Charlotte. Sydney will send it back away, and the touch off the fingertips and face of Macron, as Plymouth Whitemarsh will group up and celebrate a phenomenal win tonight. The Colonials will improve their record to 4-1. The Knights will fall to 3-2 after a 4-set game. PW winning 3 of those 4 sets. And my goodness, a lot of momentum shifts and a great job by the Colonials tonight. What were some of the main aspects you saw on both sides of the ball, Sophia?
I think that we saw North Penn coming out stronger from each timeout and each break that we saw. We saw some different players. Different players had some star moments. We also saw some key players on PW. We saw Asia Smith. She was very talented. We saw Lily Aguilera.
And yeah, those are some of the main players tonight, as it was mainly Aja Smith and Aquaviva. We saw plenty of her hard hits tonight for PW. And as for North Penn, they continue to fight, as they, it was close games all throughout. It was 25-23. North Penn won that initial set, and then the following sets, we're back and forth. That second set here earlier in the game picked up a PW win, as they were able to win by a score of 25-21. However, in these last 2 sets, PW kind of took over and prevented North Penn from gaining that momentum coming back into the game, and were able to secure the last 3 sets and pick up the win tonight here in the best of 5 sets. As we get set to conclude our coverage tonight, we'd like to thank you for joining us. I'm Eric Jesberg alongside Sophia Hughes, as North Penn and Plymouth Whitemarsh in a great matchup, and North Penn falling by a set of 3-1. PW on the road will win. Thank you for tuning in, and have a great night, everybody.